Here is a possible script for the section you requested. In this section, I'm going to show you how to open the Steam Deck and remove the original screen without damaging the device. This is a delicate and risky procedure, so please follow the steps carefully and at your own risk. Before we start, make sure your Steam Deck is powered off and unplugged from any cables. Also, remove the microSD card if you have one installed, as it could break if you try to open the device with it still inside. The first thing we need to do is remove the back cover of the Steam Deck. To do this, we need a Phillips screwdriver and an opening pick. There are 8 screws holding the back cover in place. 4 9.5mm screws and 4 5.8mm screws. Use the Phillips screwdriver to remove them and keep them in a safe place. Next, insert the opening pick into the thin gap between the back cover and the front shell, along the edge of the right grip. Pry up on the back cover to release it from the locking clips. You may need to slide the pick along the edge to unclip all of them. Be careful not to damage the back cover or the clips. Once you have unclipped the right side of the back cover, repeat the same process on the left side. Then, lift up the back cover and set it aside. Now we can see the internal components of the Steam Deck. The screen is connected to a metal shield that covers most of the motherboard. We need to remove the shield to access the screen connector and screws. To remove the metal shield, we need to disconnect the battery first. This is very important for safety reasons, as puncturing or shorting out the battery could cause a fire or explosion. The battery connector is located near the top left corner of the metal shield. Use a spudger or tweezers to gently pry it up and disconnect it from the motherboard. Next, use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the 12 screws securing the metal shield. There are 4 3mm screws, 4 4mm screws, and 4 5mm screws. Keep them in a separate place from the back cover screws. Then, lift up the metal shield and set it aside. Be careful not to touch or damage any of the components underneath. Now we can see the screen connector and screws. The screen connector is located near the bottom right corner of the motherboard. It has a black tab that locks it in place. Use a spudger or tweezers to flip up this tab and release the connector. Next, use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the 4 3mm screws securing the screen to the front shell. There are 2 screws on each side of the screen. Then, use a suction handle or your fingers to gently lift up and pull out the screen from the front shell. Be careful not to damage or scratch it. You have successfully removed the original screen from your Steam Deck. To install a new screen, follow these steps in reverse order. The Steam Deck comes with a 7-inch screen that has a native resolution of 1280 by 800 pixels. This is equivalent to 720p HD, which is decent for a handheld device, but not very impressive for a gaming PC. If you want to upgrade your Steam Deck screen to 1200p, which is 1920 x 1200 pixels, you will need to find and buy a compatible screen online for a low price. Here are some steps you can follow to do that. First, you need to make sure that the screen you want to buy is compatible with the Steam Deck. It should have the same size, aspect ratio, connector type, and power requirements as the original screen. You can check the tech specs of the Steam Deck on its official website or look for online guides that show how to replace the screen. Next, you need to search for online stores that sell screens for laptops, tablets, or monitors.